Hey guys, it's Kimberly and today we are doing a video that I am very excited for. We are doing the entire collection review of the Morphe X Coca-Cola collection. I am so excited. I like Morphe and I'm sure you guys know I use a ton of Morphe brushes. They're my favorite brushes. I have a bunch of Morphe like palettes and just things from Morphe that I really enjoy, their setting mist, all that kind of jazz. I think they're a good, affordable brand, and if you don't know even more so, I am obsessed with Coca-Cola. I'm actually addicted to Coca-Cola. It's crazy. I like crave it all the time. I need it. I go through so much Coke. It's ridiculous, and I normally don't like when brands that have nothing to do with makeup come out with collections. I feel like it just feels very gimmicky to me. It's not my thing. I don't really like it that much, but when it's something that is so important to me, like Coca-Cola, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about it. I'm here for it, so that's fine. You know what? It is what it is that I normally don't like these kinds of things, but I can't lie to myself. I got very excited when I saw this because I am a Coca-Cola fan. I honestly don't even know like the last time I drank water. Like I am unhealthily drinking Coca-Cola like it is just liquid gold. So anyway, enough with my obsession. Let's get into this collection because I want to see if it's good or if it's not good. So I got the whole collection. It came with a ton of different items and we're going to use them all today. And I'm going to go through the prices, but the first thing we're going to end up using is the little beauty sponges that it came with. It came with 4 beauty sponges, or you could purchase 4 beauty sponges, 2 teeny tiny ones like this, and then 2 bigger ones. Super cute. And they all came in this little cylinder Coke packaging, which is super cute. And this is called the Quench Pack 4-piece beauty sponge collection. I have personally never used the Morphe beauty sponges before, but I was excited to try them. I typically put on my foundation with a brush. I'm gonna start by putting primer on real quick while I talk so that this goes a little quicker. I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and I'm just gonna put this on with my fingers. But I am typically a brush makeup person and not really a sponge makeup person. However, back in the day, like when I was like a sophomore in high school, I was obsessed with the Beauty Blender because that's kind of when it came out. It was a big deal. I only did my makeup with that and I did enjoy it a lot, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like it's more convenient to use a brush because I hate having to get up and go to the bathroom and wet my beauty sponges, run them under the sink. It just felt like I was going into one room, grabbing something, going to the other room. It just felt like a big inconvenience, whereas the brush, you don't need to wet it. It just is what it is. It's right there. So I do really enjoy using a brush, but there was a time when I liked the sponge. So we're gonna give it a shot right now. I'm gonna go in with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some dabs. I will say that I've tried some like knockoff beauty blenders, if you will. I really like the Real Techniques one. I don't really buy any more name brand beauty blenders because I think the Real Technique one, I have one right here, these orange ones. I think that they work great. I think they're just as good as the traditional beauty blender. I don't think that there's much of a difference in them at all, and they are way cheaper. So I enjoy that. But I will say I've also tried some other knockoff ones, like from brands that I don't even know what they are. And some of them are very hard and stiff, and I don't like that. I like a sponge that is super squishy, and these are. They're very squishy, so I definitely like that. I'm gonna go in with this like funky shaped one for my foundation and see how I like that. It's got a big old base, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pounce. So I think that that looked really nice. I think that it did a good job. Like I said, it's nice and squishy. I love how big the base is, and I feel like it did a good job. I definitely feel like I need more product when I use a sponge. I just feel like a brush makes it go a little bit further. But I do like the finish that a sponge gives me. I just think the inconvenience of having to wet it when I want to sit down and do my makeup just makes me not want to gravitate towards sponges. But overall, I do think that these are nice sponges if you're a sponge kind of a person. So we're gonna go on to the concealer, and I'm just gonna use my Maybelline Age Rewind. And I will say that I like to use my brush for my foundation because I feel like it makes the product go further, and I feel like it's just more convenient and faster. However, I will say that I do like to use a sponge for my concealer. I think I prefer a sponge for the concealer. However, I just don't use one because I'm seriously that lazy, and the inconvenience of having to wet it just for my concealer turns me off from that idea. But I do think I prefer a sponge for my concealer. I think it makes it look so much nicer. So I'm gonna go in with one of these teeny tiny ones. And again, I'm gonna go in with the same shape because I feel like the corner will be really nice to get in there with. But yeah, let's just try to pounce this out. Just the round side at the bottom, and then get the corner up in there. Yeah. Yeah, I do really like the way that the concealer blends out with the sponge. I think it looks so pretty. And honestly, especially since I have dry skin, it's nice to be using something wet like a sponge because I feel like it just helps retain the moisture and kind of freshen up the skin and stops things from clinging to dry patches because the skin is getting moistened, so the dry kind of goes away temporarily for you to be able to blend out the foundation smoothly. So I do definitely like that. Yeah, and I think that that did a really good job. So I definitely like the Quench Pack, the sponges. I definitely give it big thumbs up. I think they're cute, I think they're fun, I like them, and we're moving on. There is nothing fun for setting powder, bronzer, or blush, nothing like that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that off camera real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so now that I have the powder, the bronzer, and the blush on, I'm gonna do something that I do not normally do, but just because, I don't know, I just thought about it, thought it'd be fun. I'm going to bake with this sponge. I don't know if you can see because it's black, but it's got like a flat edge on the end of it. And I see a lot of people bake with their wet sponges that are this shape, and it's not something I ever do, so I want to try it. So I'm just gonna dip into some of my powder. This is the RCMA No Color powder, and I'm just gonna see how this goes. So we got a ton on there. Okay, I feel like that was weird. Yeah, this is not something I think I'm a big fan of. I think maybe my sponge is too wet. I mean, I'm still gonna do it because I committed now. But I think that the sponge has a really nice line for this. If you're one of those people who does this, it's nice and sharp and clean. I just think it's not a technique I really know a whole lot about, and it's, I think my sponge is definitely too wet. So there's that, but I'm not gonna judge it on that because, like I said, this is not something I normally do. But I'm gonna keep it like that, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to highlight and the brushes. So it came with a brush set, and it came in this cute little plastic bag, and I think it's adorable, and I think it's very on brand. However, I think it's very cheap looking. The top like frosted piece, like to me this just looks really cheap, which it's not like it was expensive, but I'm just saying, if you think by looking at the pictures that this looks super high quality, I would say not really, but that's fine. It came with a little tissue paper in it. I think it's definitely cute for putting your brushes in, especially if you're gonna put them in your purse, because it's small. I don't have a lot of cases that are like a good small size for brushes, so I like that for compartmentalizing things. But yeah, cute little case, and the brushes are freaking adorable. Are you kidding me? Look at that. They're red, and they're that kind of like beveled size, and they just say Coca-Cola on them. I don't know if it's gonna focus. but they just say Coca-Cola X Morphe, and they're so cute. So it came with 6 eye brushes right there, which are super cute, and I will use for the eyes. And then it came with a fan brush. So we're gonna try and use this for my highlight. I know not a lot of people like fan brushes. I don't mind them. When I first started doing my makeup, I only used a fan brush to highlight, so not a big deal. I will use it. But I did think that online, these brushes, I wanted to get them. I think they're cute aesthetically, but I thought they looked cheap. Quality wise, I know Morphe has some nicer brushes and then they have some cheaper brushes, and I definitely thought these looked cheaper, but I will say that they're extremely soft. I don't know how they're gonna hold up once I start washing them because I haven't gotten to that point yet. Obviously, they're new, and I know people say you should wash your brushes before you use them. I'm just not that girl. I'm just not. So they're new and I haven't washed them, so we'll see, but I will say they feel extremely soft. So anyway, let's move on to the highlighter. I got 3 of their loose highlighters. They came in cute little packaging like this. I kept the Unicar in, and it just says Coca-Cola Glowing Places Loose Highlighter Illuminator. And these are the 3 right here. They are loose, like I just said. It's black, says Coca-Cola X Morphe, so cute, with a red sticker on the bottom to tell you what the shade is. There are 3 shades from lightest to darkest. We have Bubbly Babe, Pop It, and Serve Sparkling. And I'll give you little swatches so you can see. So there are the 3 shades right there. I think I could go with either the light or the medium shades, but I'm gonna go with the medium shade because it feels pretty spot on. I feel like this light one will be a little extra beaming, but I'm gonna go with the middle one for today, and that is the shade Pop It. So super cute. I'm gonna take a little bit on my fan brush. Oh, and by the way, the top is like a little sifter kind of a thing, like a salt shaker. I'm just gonna tap in a little bit and tap off the excess. And let's go in. Oh, that is so pretty. And it definitely has like a golden undertone, so it's perfect for the summer and just being tan and bronzy, and that, I really like that. I like the texture of it. It's very smooth. It's not super accentuating to anything, and I feel like it gives you, ooh, I love that. It gives you such a pretty pop. This is becoming a staple. I can tell you that already. And I might have gone a little heavy-handed there, but that's all right. Never enough highlighter, right? A little on the Cupid's bow. Perfect, love it. I definitely give these big thumbs ups. I really enjoy all of these as well, so that's awesome. I'm just gonna dust off the bake real quick and see how that looks. Yeah, if I knew what I was doing a little bit better, I feel like that looks good because it's got a nice sharp line to it. And I'm really happy with that. Maybe I'll look more into that. Okay, so next on the line is the eyes, and this is the Unicar for the eyeshadow palette. It is the Coca-Cola X Morphe Thirst for Life Artistry palette. Super cute. It's got all the information on the back, and this is the palette right there, which is cute. I like that they have the different Coca-Colas, but I also think it's kind of busy. But it is cute, so I like that. Now, to tell you what I don't like. As you open the palette, nice big mirror, pretty, but it's got one of these with the names of the shadows. And I really like when the shadow names are on the palette and not this, because I just want to throw this away. I don't want to keep this. I don't want to, like, no. This just needs to go in the trash. I have a dog. When this falls on the floor, it's gonna get static, and all the dog hair is gonna stick. This is gross. Gross. Garbage. I don't want this. So I like when the palette has the names written on it. This one doesn't. Oh well, but that is definitely a negative for me. But the colors are so pretty. Kind of a little bit random of a blue, but the red, obviously red Coca-Cola, love that. so I feel like there has to be red. But then everything else is pretty neutral, and so I feel like this is a good classic palette just for people to have. So I feel like this is like a really nice everyday palette, which might not be what everyone's looking for, but personally I think it's really good. So let's dive right in and make a look. Alright, so first I'm going to go in with this brush right here from the collection, which is the biggest, fattest, fluffiest brush. And I will say, I didn't notice until right now, but I have a complaint for the brushes. They are definitely part of the cheaper line because they are not labeled with any kind of model number or anything. So none of them have like the M42, the M50, like none of that. So it is just the blank brush. So there's nothing for me to tell you which one I'm using, which leads me to believe that they are part of their kind of like cheaper line of expansion. But as long as they perform, that's all that matters to me, but it is something to note. So I'm gonna take this brush and I'm going to dip right into this middle shade right here, which is, gotta get out my trusty piece of plastic, which is The Real Thing. So I'm gonna dip into that shade and just run that all in the crease as a transition shade. Pretty. Perfect. Honestly, the quality of the shadow seems to be on par with the rest of the Morphe shadows. I like their formula. I think it's really good for the price point that it is. So far so good. Next, I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to dip into this lighter red shade right here because I feel like we got to go in with the reds. It's Coca-Cola after all. And that is the shade Always Bright. So I'm just going to dip into that shade and just not take it up as high as the other one, but all in the crease. That is some serious pigment. Oh my gosh. That is like crazy. It does pull a little pink when you blend it out, which a lot of reds do, but very pigmented. I like it. So now that we have that blended out, I'm going to go in with the slightly smaller fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into the shade right next to it, which is this one, which is the darker red, and it is in the shade Good in Red, and I'm going to just keep that in the crease, mainly on the outer half of the eye, just to add some depth and dimension. All right, I love the way that looks. That is like fiery red, awesome. I do want to use this glitter shade right here, but I'm pretty sure, ooh, it's kind of dry feeling, but man, it's gorgeous. But I'm pretty sure it's not fully pigmented. Oh, it's pretty pigmented, but it's definitely just glitter. There's not like a background color to it. So I feel like it would be better as kind of like a topper. So I am going to take that red, Good in Red shade right here, and I'm just gonna put it all over the lid, and then we're gonna top it off with that glittery shade, which is Pop Culture. However, there's something to note, not all of these are eyeshadows. Some of them are pressed pigments, and I'm sure that this is not considered an eyeshadow, this glittery one. On the back of the box it tells you, and pressed pigments are not safe for use around the immediate eye area, so that is something to note. I'm going to use it around my eye, but they do not promote it. They're not cool with it. They say no, so something to note. It kind of annoys me when brands do that because it's an eyeshadow palette. You're marketing it as an eyeshadow palette, and there's items in the palette that aren't safe for the eyes. That just seems crazy to me, but yeah. I will use it because I don't really care and I'm a risk taker, but technically you shouldn't. So if you're worried, or if you're like a contact wearer, or like, you know, anything got going on with your eyes, it's good to note that, you know, you probably shouldn't. So I'm just gonna go in with this glittery shade and pop that all over the lid. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that so much. And now with this small little brush, I'm gonna go in with that lighter red right there and just kind of pull that along the lower lash line. All right, and that is everything for that eye look, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. So now the other eye is all done. I popped on some lashes. These are D-Star lashes, of course, in the style Jacqueline. I feel like they complement the red eye so perfectly. And I put lipstick on, of course, the nude lipstick that I can't get enough of recently. And that is the Milani nude lipstick in the shade Nude Cream. It is love it. And that leaves one last thing for this collection review, and that is the Lip in the Moment lip gloss quad thing, 4-piece lip collection. It comes in this cute little packaging. Everything is very red and black, which I think is fun. And those are the 4 lip glosses. They're really small, but that's not a deal breaker. So we have a red one called Classic Babe, which I am Classic Coke Babe. Here I am, right here. Anyway, got that red one. We have this really pretty bronze sparkly one, and that's Tastemaker. And then we have an icy sparkly one, and that's called Overflow. And then this nude one called Share, which is super cute. I'm gonna swatch all 4 of them on the back of my hand. So there are all 4 shades right there. We have the red, the nude, the icy sparkly one, and the brown sparkly one. I love all 4 of them so much. I really want to use this brown sparkly one, but I don't know how well it would go. This is obviously the clear winner, but I really want to use this one. I'm gonna put this one on, and if it doesn't look good, we'll wipe it off and do the other one, because I just really am drawn to this bronzy, especially in the summer. So here we go. You know what, I don't think it's bad. I'm gonna keep it on just like that because I really like it. But let's talk about these glosses. Oh my gosh, look at that red one. So pigmented. I really like these glosses. And they're not sticky at all. It's super comfortable. So I've never used any Morphe glosses before, and I'm definitely looking into it because those are really comfortable and I really, really like them. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. Overall, I enjoyed the collection. I think the bag for the brushes, a little cheap. I wish that the brushes had labels, and I wish that all the eyeshadows had their names on the actual palette and not on the piece of plastic. But besides that, I really enjoyed the rest of the collection. I think everything else was really good. I think Morphe is super affordable for the quality that they put out there, and I think that if you like Coke or Morphe, or if you just like the colors or the products that you saw today, I definitely recommend it because overall I think that it's definitely worth it and that they were all really good products. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers!